What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to check out the new 2025 Subaru Forester. This one is the Sport Hybrid, finished off in crystal white pearl with an MSRP at $39,000. Is this the ultimate adventure hybrid, sub 40 grand? If you have an adventurous lifestyle and want to go over 580 miles on a tank, this could be the perfect option for that. So let's see what is powering this new hybrid Forester. Finding the hood latch, we can see this new engine, which is of course the 2.5 liter boxer 4-cylinder with a hybrid system. Overall net horsepower is going to be around 194 with net torque at 199. We do have all-wheel drive, a CVT transmission, and then with all this, towing is going to be around 1,500 pounds, and then curb weight is 3,900 pounds. It's going to get a 16.6 gallon fuel tank, and you're going to expect a 34 on the highway and 35 on the city. Overall, about 581 max range. So pretty nice bump over the standard Forester. You have a cool set of LED headlights, nice design, integrated very well into the upper grille, which is a lot more bold than the previous generation. You can see the Subaru logo, some openings as well, more openings down below, and I like the bronze accents. We have our LED fog lights. Overall, it's definitely a pretty muscular looking Forester, much cooler looking I think than the old one, a lot more sporty, a little bit bigger design. You have some smooth lines on the hood, and then that plastic trim makes its way into the fender arches as well as the lower door panel, just to keep the paint nice and protected. You have a nice set of bronze wheels. They are 19-inch diameter, multi-spoke look. Got a little trim vent piece as well, and then we have our hybrid badge up above. Got black on the mirror caps with a turn signal, body color door handles, and then black trim throughout the roof area. You can see these cool black marks up here as well as back there, just to kind of separate the roof. Got a pretty large sunroof up there with some black roof rails. Overall side profile, it's very nice and proportional. I think the fender arches give it a nice sporty design. Overall, can't complain. I think it's a nice update from the old one. Definitely looks much cooler, a little bit sharper design. You have some red on the taillights and a cool connecting bar with your Subaru badge. You got Forester written into the plastic with your hybrid, as well as a Subaru badge, and then a single exhaust tip. More of the plastic material with the bronze accents, and parking sensors are all down below. So a pretty cool look for sure. I think they've done a good job just styling this, making it look a lot nicer. And then in back we have our power lift gate. Just pressing that up, we can automatically open everything. So in back you can see the cargo area with the seats folded down versus folded up. We have a plug on the left side, a couple different hooks. We have the privacy cover, and then underneath the floor you don't really have any storage space because you have the battery system, a little bit of storage here, then our tow hook up above. Harman Kardon audio system as well, and a pretty decent amount of space. And then from back here you can easily pull these and get those seats out of the way. So nice and easy to use everything. We have the button up above, and moving on to the interior with everything folded nice and flat, you can get a good idea of the cargo space we're looking at. Nice and easy to get everything down. Very lightweight seats as well. So you're going to see a vinyl interior, this nice synthetic leather. You have the dark gray and light gray armrests and cup holders, and I like the bronze stitching. We have air vents, a couple plugs, a couple storage cubbies as well, and then the nice two-tone. And then on the door panel you can see more of this black plastic material with this cool fabric, and then some soft touch vinyl material. Hopping inside now. At 5'11", the seat I did slide a little bit forward, that way the headrest would clear, but you do have plenty of legroom at my height. I had about this much knee room with the seat at my height. Good amount of headroom as well, so really can't complain for the overall interior. It's definitely spacious enough, smaller crossover for a small family. And then if we make our way to the front seats, you're gonna have the smart key that will lock and unlock it. And then the door panel is finished off like the back. A little bit more soft touches, that same fabric and this cool vinyl trim with all of your controls. You're going to see a power seat for the driver, and then the same two-tone with the dark and light gray, the bronze accents throughout it. My only one complaint with this seat material, in the sun it does get really hot. So that is one drawback with the vinyl seating versus maybe a higher material or even just cheaper cloth. From here, let's fire up the hybrid. So being a hybrid, you're not necessarily going to have the engine turning on. So right now you can see it says EV, so we're just looking at the electronics. And then on the left side of the steering wheel, we have all of your Bluetooth and audio controls, cruise controls on the right, your steering intervention, and then our drive modes. You can toggle the SI drive into the sport and the normal. There are paddle shifters for the CVT. It has a 6-speed shiftable mode. And then the stock on the right for windshield wipers, headlights, and turn signals over on the left. You're going to see a nice digital display with our charge, eco, and power indicator, speedometer on the right side, and then of course some basic information throughout it. You're going to see an EV mode. This isn't a full plug-in hybrid, so it's not always going to be available. Of course, certain speeds, which is slow parking lot speeds, is basically when you can use that. We have the lift gate, you can turn your foot sensor on and off, and then more of this soft touch vinyl. Got some black up above on the dashboard, and then I like this texture throughout it, which is a pretty cool look. You have more of this bronze accents, and then making our way to the touchscreen. So basically everything you're used to seeing in any modern Subaru. Only complaint is just the screen lag gets a little annoying sometimes. Sometimes there's a big delay, especially when you turn on the vehicle for the first time. It could take a minute or two to get your climate and radio going. But you have all of your controls down below. For the climate controls, of course, you can go in and out of it, which is a nice touch, and then different shortcuts all throughout the center. Up above, we have more shortcuts, things like that will pop up. And then going into reverse, you do have a nice small backup camera with HD graphics. I like how the climate is still visible, however, wouldn't mind a little bit larger screen to use what you have available. Got your drive modes up above as well. Volume on the left, tuning on the right, and then under car, you can see a few things that you're able to adjust throughout it. We have the driving assistance, and then more settings throughout. Driver profiles as well, and then back to the home screen. You're gonna see a couple plugs down here, along with wireless phone charging, your shifter, and then some cup holders and electronic parking brake. Got some nice padding on your armrest with more of this vinyl texture, and then a pretty good amount of space. Glove box on the far right side, nice large as you would expect. And then one last look at the interior. It's pretty nicely appointed. You have real leather on the steering wheel, and all the vinyls and fabrics overall are pretty nice to touch. I think it's got a nice, cool, rugged feeling to it, which makes sense for this adventurous type of vehicle. You have a massive manual sunshade, so definitely pretty far back you gotta reach, but it opens up to that nice skylight. We have a nice sunglass holder, your controls for the glass, mirror up above, and then on the sun visors, you even have the extra pieces to truly fill out a lot of the window. So setting off now in the new hybrid Forester, pedal to the floor. All right, so it's obviously not a fast car. However, it's got enough pep, especially down low for like city driving and things like that, just to get you up and go. You can feel that extra EV power, which is quite nice. Now in the sharp mode, gets basically to full throttle a little bit quicker, not necessarily any faster in general, just gives you a little bit quicker pep in the throttle pedal basically. But overall driving, you know, we're going around 55. It's a pretty smooth to drive car. These seats are pretty comfortable. You have a really good view around. The glass is really large in the Forester. I think that's definitely a nice touch with an SUV like this. So can't complain with all of that. Over my right shoulder, plenty of visibility. Same with my left. So it's a comfortable vehicle. You know, I'm fitting in here really well. I have a ton of headroom. It is a little funny with the manual sunshade. You really got to push it back there. If your arms aren't long enough, you might not be able to reach it to go ahead and close it. So just a little funny to mess with that. It's a little bit of a reach. But overall driving experience, you know, it's comfortable and smooth. The suspension absorbs bumps really well. The steering feel, you know, is nice and smooth. It's no sports car, but it's just a nice, easy vehicle to drive. This is going to be your daily, and you want, you know, some sort of adventurous aspects to your vehicle, this Forester can do it. And with the range, you know, nearly 600 miles on a tank, this is going to be a great adventure vehicle. We've had a couple of these as press cars in the last 2 years. And I mean, the gas mileage, especially with the hybrid, is definitely really good, and it's a nice place to be with plenty of space. It's not too big to where it would be difficult to park at all. It's just an easy SUV at the end of the day to drive without being any of the drawbacks with a big SUV. So you got a lot of space in here. I like the use of materials overall. I mean, you have some more soft touch plastics. You know, it's not a crazy high-end vehicle, but you have cool textures, cool materials just to make this feel fun. It's easy to clean if you get it dirty. Again, this is going to be an adventure vehicle, camping trips, things like that. So you're going to be going off the beaten path, and this is a vehicle that can handle quite a lot of it. I think my only complaint is just the screen has some lag, which I've noticed in all the Subarus when you first start it up. You know, sometimes it might take a minute or two for the climates and radio information to pop up. when I hop in a car, I want my music and climate set perfectly within the first 2 seconds. So to have to wait a minute or two is a little annoying. I feel like in today's day and age, the screen lag should not happen at all, just because the technology is totally there. So screen lag is my only real complaint, I think, with these Subarus. Aside from that, it does work fine. It gives you all the information, and I don't really mind the climate controls being in the screen, especially since we have temperature right here. So if they could just dial in the screen lag, get that completely gone, I won't complain about that at all. So as a driver, you know, I think this is going to be just an easy, comfortable vehicle to drive. Maybe you've never owned an SUV before. Obviously, this is a crossover, so it's not really a jumbo SUV like a Tahoe or an Expedition. It's nothing intimidating to own or drive or park or even put in your driveway or garage. It's something that, you know, anybody can get into this and just enjoy driving it and do a lot with it. You can go camping, hiking, you can fit stuff in it, put a canoe on the top. You know, you can use this as a really good recreation vehicle and have the confidence to go for a very, very long time. And, you know, it's quick enough to get up to normal speed, not gonna blow your socks off, but it will do the job for the average person for day-to-day driving. So a nice overall vehicle for the price range, and, you know, the hybrid basically is gonna help you out with the city MPG, all the inefficient areas. This is gonna be much better. Pedal to the floor now. And 50. So definitely not a sports car, but, you know, around town, city stuff like that, going on some dirt trails, you know, it's gonna fit the average buyer very well for that sort of driving.